Hi, I'm Lisa Gallagher, Director and co-founder of Flexibility Works. At Flexibility Works, we like to enable businesses to share their best ideas, thoughts and best practice around flexible working. In this short video, you're going to hear from business owners and managers about how they have responded to the enforced home working situation as a result of COVID-19 and their hints and tips and good ideas to share with you, and hopefully you'll find that helpful and you might be able to implement some of those ideas in your organisation. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Andrew Watson. I'm the Managing Director from Quorum Network Resources Limited, or just Quorum for short. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about remote working and how it's evolved and what's changed in the current scenario. Apologies, I've got a slightly dry throat just now, so if you're having difficulty hearing or understanding me, I do apologise. I can't really do anything about it, other than drink lots, which I've been doing. So, remote working, as a company, we've been doing this for the last 20 years. In fact, ever since the company started, we've always had the facility to do some kind of work. We used to support internet banking remotely. We did remote rollouts for laptops doing old style dial-in. So we have a long experience of trying to cope with not only the technological aspect of this, but the psychological aspect of it and the sociological aspect as well, which is a lot of oddicals. We try and get people into discipline of having a space to work and normal times to work as well. So have a space where you can dedicate that to being in an office. Work as close to a normal day as you can. So take some time off for lunch, take some time off for breaks. Try not to do home chores during the day. Just try and keep some delineation between your work environment and your home environment. And the danger here is you end up pretty much just working all the time and just not having any sort of separation between your two worlds. Now, one of the challenges, or one of the many challenges we have in the current environment, is actually we have more people in the house. So we'll have our partners working from home and our children being at home, being educated, or just isolated depending on what age they are. And this gives us some difficult challenges that we're not used to. So keeping a space for work is now difficult. We have to share that. Keeping some time for work is also difficult, and we have to share that too. I think the important thing to realise here is that this is not remote working or working from home as we traditionally think of it. We are doing our best to remote work during a crisis. And so our expectations of what we can achieve have to actually change. Hopefully your employers will have picked up on that, and certainly we're supporting our employees by giving a lot more leeway and negotiating with them about when we can do things and when we can't do things, and just trying to be as understanding as we can in the current situation. And if your employer is struggling with that, you might need to explain the reality of the situation to them as well, because this is as new to them as it is to you. So hopefully we can come together and have a common understanding to help us all get through this. So that's really all I've got time for. But everybody stay safe. Thank you very much for listening. Stay indoors, support your NHS, wash your hands. My name's Andrew Watson. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Stephen Curry, Commercial Director at R&W Scott. R&W Scott have been making jam in Lanarkshire's Clyde Valley for 140 years. Based here at our factory in Curluke. Our range now includes chocolate flavoured coatings, specialty soft icings and bespoke confectionery fillings. The current management team bought the business from the previous owners at the end of 2018 and quickly gained living wage accreditation as an independently owned company. With regard to flexible working, we recently introduced a 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. twilight shift, which has been very popular with parents who were keen to have a balance between returning to work and continuing to be the main carer for their children. Specifically in home working, we already have a few of our team on flexible working arrangements. 4 of our 5 head of department have school-aged or preschool children, where slightly reduced hours or just 1 day per week home working proved to be of real benefit in managing their busy schedules. During the current crisis, we aren't working physically together, and we do have a skeleton staff on site, mainly to cover production, quality, hygiene and food safety. This means most of our team are working remotely. To keep the team engaged and productive, we have set up a remote daily meeting where a member from each team dials in using Microsoft Teams, and we discuss the various priorities for that particular day or week. We tried a virtual coffee morning yesterday where work chat was definitely banned, and this is something we will no doubt repeat. Given the unique situation we find ourselves in, I think employers have to be that little bit more flexible than usual. With children off school or nursery, it can be difficult for any working parent to balance the demands of their family and the demands of their job. Keeping this in mind, as a leadership team, we have taken a more relaxed approach to working hours. For example, we are seeing some parents of younger children replying to emails and circulating information later in the evening rather than during a typical working day. To be fair, we take the attitude that your family comes first at all times, but genuinely supporting staff through flexibility and understanding during this crisis will undoubtedly lead to deeper commitment and ultimately increased productivity in the longer term. In summary, it undoubtedly makes commercial sense to be a caring and flexible employer at any time, but even more so during this period of uncertainty.
Hi, I'm Katrina McLeod. I work for Emerald Works. We provide online learning and performance support solutions. Prior to COVID-19, we were used to virtual working to some extent, some people exclusively working from home, others choosing to do so at certain points in the week. However, obviously that changed when we all had to start working from home when our offices closed. We were fortunate that one of our colleagues had run a session on working remotely recently, and looking at things like using Zoom for breakout sessions and for doing running brainstorming sessions using post-it notes. So we found it really useful to put that into practice, and we've also had really good BizTech support to help us get equipment that we needed and any software, and also advice or even offers of training to get us up to speed. I think in terms of challenges that we've faced, perhaps for our business, one of the biggest challenges has been the social aspect. We're used to getting together, quite a lot of us being in the same place, going out for drinks, that kind of thing, exercising together, which is a big challenge right now. So we've been using the technology available to us. We use Slack. We've got a plugin that we'd already used called Coffee Buddies, where you can meet up and on the phone or a video call and have a chat for half an hour. You're paired up with a colleague that you might not otherwise speak to very often. It's all done through AI. So that's definitely, there's been a big uptake on that. So that's helped us sort of stay connected and to share experiences and talk through any issues with people across the business. We now have Fizz Friday, where people get together on Zoom, share a drink, maybe wear a funny hat, and just generally talk about the week, have a bit of a chill out. Our colleague Kira has been running online virtual yoga sessions that quite a few of us have been taking part in. So just trying to continue life as normally as possible, but just looking at the tools that we have available to be able to join in remotely. We've also had a couple of birthdays, which we've had to try and be creative about how we've celebrated that with our colleagues. But yeah, a lot of it has been around the technology and trying to make it work for us, think creatively and adapt to the new world that we find ourselves in. And I think the other thing I would say is that so much of it is just around communication, making sure that you use multiple channels so that everybody is getting access to the same information and that they're feeling connected and not isolated, because they are quite challenging times. A couple of other things the business has done, we get regular, very short pulse surveys sent out at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, literally 3 questions asking how we're feeling, if we're able to switch off from work at the end of the day and the end of the week, because that's a challenge when you're working from home. Sort of life and work sort of blurs into one. I think there's also been a recognition that everybody has their own particular circumstances, and that as long as they're communicated between the employee and the business, the line managers and the business, then there's always ways of adapting and flexing how and when the work gets done, whether you've got caring responsibilities, you're looking after young children, trying to homeschool. So I think it is about being flexible, adaptable, and everyone being able to communicate their own particular needs. One last thing, we have put together a support pack, the COVID-19 support pack. It's available on mindtools.com and also our website emeraldworks.com. So if organisations are looking for some free resources to share with their colleagues, then I would definitely recommend taking a look at those.